Good afternoon. My name is Jack Barnes. This is for business finance. I'm quickly going to go through risk and return. Now, risk and return, there are two parts, but with a couple of the questions that's going to be put on the exam for Wednesday, I thought I'd just go through one that's quite simple, and it was on the practice exam, so I thought I'd just go through it quickly. Now, I'll just get the question up. I'll draw it up. So you'll probably remember the equation from the CAPM from the assignment. Now I know some of you didn't do the calculations for the CAPM, so I'll explain it quickly. Security, actual return, and beta. Okay. Now, I'll just get the camera up so I can see what you're seeing. Stay there. Right. See if you can. Alright, you can kind of see it. Pretty much the question says the following, if the, where is it? There are three questions to do with this. Now, this is an actual and an expected question. So, what I mean by actual and expected, the actual rate is, how can I explain this? I'll just get out my definition from my notes. So, the CAPM equilibrium model. If there are two rates, there's an actual rate and an expected rate. Now, the actual rate is the rate that actually occurs, while the expected rate is what we expect to happen. Now, if the actual expected expected forecast return for an asset is greater than the required rate of return, the asset is underpriced. Investors will buy the asset, more of the asset, and demand will go up for the price. So what this means is the actual price is greater than what it should be. So, and the required rate of return is lower. So, meaning that people found a bargain and they want to buy more of this good, and that with the more of the demand will force the price up. The other side to it is if the actual return of an asset is less than its required rate of return, the asset is overpriced. Investors will sell the asset, the price will be forced down. So, with this, we use just give me a second, I'm just going to see if we've got any more markers. My markers are dying. Alright. So, what was it? So the question says, okay, so now to explain this. So we've got 3 securities with the actual rate that we just mentioned and the beta. Now I'll just explain what the beta is quickly. The beta is a measure of sensitivity of an asset's return relative to changes in the market return. So we multiply that in the CAPM model. Okay, we'll draw up the CAPM model. Hopefully the blue marker's down, the blue marker's fine. Okay, so this is the CAPM model. Okay, so just read out what each individual bit means. Alright, well the basis of it is, this means risk-free rate, this means the risk of the market, and this is the beta. So pretty much, the question says to us, if the expected return on the market is 12%, while the risk-free rate is 5%, what is the required return for each security? Write down your answers as a percentage, 2 decimal places. So, if, when calculating this, the number is different to the actual rate, we have to decide if the price is going up or down, because it's not in equilibrium. If it matches the actual rate, then that means it's in equilibrium. So, we'll move the... Yep. Okay, so So we'll draw the equation. So RI, in the equation where the I is, you need to write a number or the name of it. So we'll call it R hat green equals, so the risk-free rate was 0.05 plus, now the market rate was 0.12, 0.12 minus 0.05, beta is here. So now we need to use the individual betas from here. So that's 0.75. So we go 0.12, take away 0.05, gives us 0.07 times 0.75 plus 0.05 times 100. That gives us 10.25. So that's good. That matches the equilibrium. So we've got no issues in green. Or in this column. Actually, there's no issue, but it's deciding if there's an equilibrium or not. Then R hat blue equals 0.05 plus 0.12 minus 0.05. Now using the beta is 0.02. That would equal 0.12 minus 0.05 times 0.02 plus 0.05 times 100 equals 5.14. Now that does not match the actual rate. So blue, the actual rate is higher than the expected rate or the rate of return. So this means okay, so this means that the asset is underpriced and investors will buy the asset, causing more demand and will force the price up. Now we've got R black. So R hat black equals 0.05 plus close bracket 0.12 minus 0.05 bracket, and the beta is 1.1 or 1.16, sorry. Okay. So that's 0.012, take away 0.05. Oops. That was my mistake. I accidentally put one too many zeros in there. 0.12 minus 0.05 equals 0.07 times 1.16 plus 0.05 equals 13.12. Alright, so the question asks us to do these calculations, and the second part says which of the securities were in equilibrium. We can quite easily, or we can see now that security green was the only one that was in equilibrium. We can also spot the that these two were not in equilibrium. Blue and black weren't. The third part of the question was, will the price of the security black be expected to fall or rise? Now, security black. Alright, so black is less than the actual return. So if the actual return of the asset is less than its required rate of return, the asset is overpriced. Investors will sell the asset, the price will be forced down. So the price will fall for security black. Okay, well I'm going to send through a couple more videos in the next little while. So I just thought I'd go through that question because that one's probably going to be easy marks since they have to put a table out there, if they put it in the exam at all, of course. So cheers.